How's it going? My name's Chris. This last weekend I played at the Ycs Anaheim Genesys Invitational. I got top 8, and I'm going to be showcasing what I played. I went to the event planning on playing the main event, but when they announced Genesys, I just straight over switched, had some fun testing with buddies, and I think this is the format to be playing right now. So let's showcase kind of what I brought. We'll go with the main deck first. I played the best deck in the room. I played Vanquish. I played 3 Raisin here, 3 Mad Love, played 3 Holisu, played 3 Xiaolong, and I only played 2 Borger, 2 Caesar, and a Pantera. I've played Vanquish in the past. I wasn't worried about Rock's Recursion not being allowed in this format, so I only played 2 and 2 because I've played too many hands of Vanquish in the past where I've opened 2 Caesar and a Borger and I have to pass. I'm playing the Pantera because this format doesn't actually have a ton of back row removal. You can play, like, you'll see in my side later, there's like Cosmics and other stuff, but I felt like this was a really good way to apply pressure that a lot of decks couldn't do in this format, where back row is much higher value just because of the game states and how much more condensed they are compared to your normal combo where you have 3 or 4 pushes in advanced. So that's just the main deck monsters. For the spells, maxing out on these. Stake Your Soul. I played 1 Start and 1 Snow Devil. I know some people played Continue. I didn't really think that I needed to play Continue. There's so many names, and I never felt in tournament that I needed the extra bodies on field. If at any point I would have needed that, it's probably a losing state I wasn't going to come back from anyways. So I felt like this was the perfect amount. Maybe a second start wouldn't have been bad, because there are a lot of times where your first one goes, and turn 4, it would be nice to have one. That's pretty much it. Snow Devil's amazing. Stake Your Soul. Being able to play 3 Raisin, 3 Stake Your Soul is just such a cool way to play this format. I don't think it's going to survive past this, but it was very fun playing full-powered VS one more time. So this is going to be a lot of the non-engine, kind of the hand traps I chose. I decided to play 2 Kurikara, 3 Ash Blossom, 3 DD Crow, and then I played the Impulse engine. I was kind of back and forth on what to play for non-engine. I decided to go with the Kurikaras. Originally, it was 2 Shifters and a Ghost Spell, and that was the full 100 points. But I felt like there was a lot of decks that could play through Shifter in this format. I saw a lot of Exosister, and other decks that just like Vanquish Soul, things that didn't really care about how much you interact with your graveyard. In that same vein, I kind of feel like Crow underperformed a little bit this weekend. It's just a 0-point card that can win you games because the games are much more simplified and the attribute is nice. Ash Blossom being a fire is probably one of the main reasons you can play in this deck. It is a pretty expensive card in this format, so I almost never played into an Ash. Most of the time, I was able to full combo never interrupted just because a lot of decks are just using their points for main deck or extra deck options. So being able to have that extra Ash, or being able to just even reveal an Ash and making them play awkwardly into a board was nice. The Impulse engine was okay. There's a lot of games where I would have Impulse, and then I would go Borger to draw as my last action on the turn, and I would draw Attacker. And then it would just be sitting in my hand as a fire attribute. It being a fire attribute is nice, but I think you still have to play it in VS just because of the attribute and the draw too. But it was just okay. If I had more points to work with, it'd probably be something else. That was the hand trap lineup. For spells, I played 3 Extrav just because every deck that can be playing Extrav should be playing Extrav. It's likely going to become points going forward, but it's just so good in this deck. You don't need any extra deck monsters. It's all luxury. It's just one of the best cards in the format right now. It might be, top 3 card in this format. And for my last 3 cards, I wasn't, like I mentioned earlier, I wasn't really happy with Shifter or Bell. So I kind of wanted to go with something that could just neutralize the game state, and not very many people are playing protection cards. So I decided to go with 3 Raigeki in the end. I had to leftover points because I was only at 75. So these being 7 each, being 21, put me at 96. And I felt like it was a really good option. Unfortunately, I never really saw it, even being in my main deck. The one time I did see it where it actually mattered was an Exosister game. That was kind of nice. That was in my top 64 match. This pretty much won me a game because it cleared Magnifica. They didn't have a way to get bodies on the field. But the other 2 times I saw it was actually the only 2 times I played against Vanquish Soul. and they had Start and Snow Devil, so it was just a dead card in my hand. Going forward, this wouldn't be in my deck at all. I would likely replace it with something else. That was the main deck. It's 40, and then I'll go into the extra deck. What's cool about the extra deck is none of it matters. You'll see I'm playing in the side, I'm playing Slayer, so I'll show my Slayer targets. Playing a Gura, a Malong, Aggregator, 2 Valon, and then I'm playing a little bit kind of there's so many options you could choose. So I figured I'd test this because I didn't get to actually play any in-person Genesys. So it's more kind of going on like online testing and vibes. I put in an Eclipse Twins, and I'll kind of get to why I was playing that afterwards. But these were all the Ultimate Slayer targets. I probably should have played a second purple card, whether it was an Atis or another Garura. There was my top 16 match I played against Artmage, and it actually came up where I drew 2 Slayers, and they had a way to get back into their fusion. That probably would have just full stop ended the game if I had a second purple card. So I might think about that, especially with Extrav. I opened Extrav and Slayer. That's probably a poor siding pattern, but I kind of had to pick and choose which one I wanted because I was only on one of the purple cards. For the rest of the toolbox kind of stuff, I'm playing a Tornado Dragon, a Dempsey, 2 Rocks, 2 Sharks, Dark Shark, a Nash Knight, and a CXYZ Knight. So for all my toolbox, the Eclipse Twin was if I got into a game state where if I made a Tornado Dragon turn 1 and like a Rocks and I had an Ultimate Slayer, then I could send the Twins and kind of remake either one to apply more pressure. It never came up. I didn't expect it to, but it was just kind of something as my 15th card I thought could be a good idea. These cards existed like Typhon apart from these ones. If I ever had to play any of these cards, I likely was going to lose anyways. So I kind of treated them like Typhon. There was a game that it came up, but like I mentioned, anytime I summoned them, I was in a losing game state anyways. The main deck monsters are just too good to become extra deck monsters to really toolbox with. So there was that. Rocks never really came up. It's nice sometimes when you have the Panthera left over and you just want to go into an Earth to pop a card, but it never really came up. I was really happy with the Ultimate Slayer overall though, so the targets were good. I'd probably add more targets, just in case because of Extrav. Let's go into the side now. For my side, I played more removal. I was worried about a lot of towers in the format. Genesys, it felt really unsolved, and it looked like a lot of people were playing towers, so there's like a lot of purely, I was worried about like Lunalight making towers, there's some worried about like Super Quant, so I played 3 Dogren. So many in this formats in this deck are XYZ, so I was playing 3 Flying Sea just to beat that. This just won me a game against Exosister in that top 64. I played it, he looked at it, he goes, "What does this do?" And then he picked up his card shortly after. Back row removal, like I mentioned, I just played 3 Cyclone. This card was okay. You either play this or Twin Twisters. I figured this was better. There was a lot of like Radiant Runic, which is a really hard matchup to play into. So this card almost felt kind of mandatory for like either the Fountain or trying to get rid of MSTs. Then I played 3 Ultimate Slayer. Very good card. And my last card, I wanted a good going first card that because Solemn cost points. So I tried Black Horn of Heaven. It never came up. I never drew it, but in practicing, it was really good. This is likely going to change. I'm probably going to cut this, and I'll likely play 3 Eradicator, because there's a lot of time where I had Borger on the board, and after I drew one on my opponent's turn, didn't really have a purpose other than just being a body and threatening life point damage the next turn. So I'd probably swap this for an Eradicator just because of, like I mentioned, Radiant Typhoon is crazy, Artmage is crazy right now. There's a lot of decks where it's nice to just to clear them of all the spells in their hand, kind of going forward. I think that if I were to change anything overall with the deck, I'd probably cut the Raigekis like I mentioned, and I'd play some Nibiru's in the side, maybe 2 of them just because that's how many points I can afford. There were a lot of decks that just, if they full combo, they just kind of win. It would either be that or Droll. Both of those cards kind of feel almost, not mandatory, but Droll more so mandatory, but Nib kind of felt like a good flex card no one would be prepped for. But yeah, that was my whole list for And I had a really fun time with the event. Like I mentioned, if you're playing right now and you're not feeling the advanced format, this is definitely the format to be playing. There's so many cool things you could do with it. There's so many different decks. I saw people that were just laughing because they were resolving Pot of Greed. But yeah, I just want to give a couple shout outs. Shout outs to the two people that really helped me test the most and decided last minute to come to the format with me. Nick, who's filming, and then Nano over here. Definitely helped a lot, kind of figured out. I wasn't sure what I wanted to play, and I was actually kind of down on Vanquish as a concept, but just kind of playing it and having people to test with, it was really, really good playing into. And then shout out to my locals, San Isidro Games and Rare and Sleeveless. You have to be playing there if you're in the San Diego area. Those are the places to play right now. And they're gonna be holding Genesys tournaments going forward. So it's gonna be really fun. I'm really excited for this event, and excited next year for the possibilities when it becomes a YCS. But thanks for listening. That's pretty much all I got. Top 8 total. Really happy with it. Didn't expect to do that well, but overall it was a really fun tournament. I had a good time.